Well, it looks like America just got a little bit more freer. But did it? As Mark Zuckerberg just entered the fray for free speech and his full F-boy uniform announced that he will be a campaigner for free speech in this country when his company and himself did astronomical damage when it came to destroying the First Amendment in this country. And now he's going to be fixing it all. Hold on, wait a minute here. Can we trust him? Well, let's examine that in this particular video. As of course, being someone that has been heavily censored on Facebook and had multiple companies ruined and destroyed, as well as enterprises and projects just absolutely whittled away in the depths of Facebook content safety moderation, being absolutely obliterated by this tyrannical system. I have something to say about this, Zuck.
Hey everyone. I want to talk about something important today, because it's time to get back to our roots around free expression on Facebook and Instagram.
Its roots are with Intel Q and a lot of really interesting CIA projects. So why the interesting turn of tune now, as the meme videos have already begun?
Hi everyone. I want to talk about something important today. We're going back to our roots, taking the best ideas out there, like Elon's community notes on X, and making them our own. That's how we innovate at Meta.
This as Elon Musk announced a lot of major significant changes to his Meta products like Facebook and Instagram that I would argue have had overwhelmingly a huge major negative impact on free humanity. But now things are going to be allegedly different, as Mark Zuckerberg specifically announced that he's going to be ending third-party fact checkers and replacing them with community notes, just like Twitter is doing. He's going to be, quote, removing the reduction of political content, allegedly allowing people to have free thought and political expressions that aren't punished if they express points of view that challenge the current narrative. Again, as he also promised to lift topic restrictions. And again, I'm absolutely extremely skeptical here, as some people are saying that he might be actually serious here and this could be a thing for the better. As Mark Zuckerberg also specifically announced, essentially how his content moderation team will be moved from California and will be rebased in Texas. As this does signal how it won't be Silicon Valley, snooty-nosed, fart-smelling, woke liberals with blue armpit hair deciding whether you, of course, said the wrong thing or right thing, but it will be people from Texas that hopefully aren't from Austin, because those are the same people.
We're going to move our trust and safety and content moderation teams out of California, and our US-based content review is going to be based in Texas. As we work to promote free expression, I think that it will help us build trust to do this work in places where there is less concern about the bias of our teams.
As there's a couple important things to note here from Zuckerberg's kind of admissions here that are big, that are major, as Zuckerberg now personally destroyed the myth that censoring conservatives was, quote, a conspiracy theory, as of course he also censored conspiracy theories as well. He made it clear that there was government coercion forcing him to act in a way which he didn't want to act, but was forced to do so under the threat and duress of the federal bureaucracy and the intel agencies that were pressuring and telling him exactly what to do. As now we're finding out that it was the Biden administration, it was the intel agencies that violated Americans' First Amendment rights. As of course, this is going to have full-on Supreme Court larger ramifications, as we have to remember this is all on the heels of Donald Trump soon taking political office with a House, with a Senate, and with the full potential of many hearings, of many investigations that now will be looking into the clear collusion that was happening within the Biden administration, within the intel agencies that were absolutely manipulating the public town square, which they decided to take a big old dump on. As this forms of manipulation played out in many egregious ways that led to tremendous human life loss and suffering, especially when it came to 2020, 2021, especially when it came to elections. And when you look at specifically a lot of the people who were targeted because of the information that they were providing that could have saved their lives, a lot of those individuals were stopped from spreading that information. And truly, if we start to do a larger kind of deep dive here and an investigation into this, I would argue that the censorship that has happened in this particular country has led to many deaths, which leaves a lot of the censors here with blood on their hands. That's the bigger ramification here, as a lot of people are saying, well, Mark Zuckerberg is just trying to get away from a lot of this liability, as he has also aligned himself with Dana White and other people, as he just announced that the main head of the UFC will now be one of the board of directors of Meta. As Dana White unironically took to Twitter saying, quote, "I love social media, and I am excited to be a small part of the future of AI and emerging technologies." As Dana White is also very close friends with Donald Trump, and let's be honest here, what better way to avoid prosecution and potentially being thrown in jail than, of course, buddying up with the friends of the person who might be doing it? As CNN Business has an absolutely awful take on this, saying, Meta is getting rid of fact checkers. Zuckerberg acknowledged more harmful content will appear on the platform. Harmful content. What are you talking about here? You want to talk about harmful content? You talk about all the lies spewed by the corporate media that has led us into tremendous amounts of wars and bad decisions that, of course, all of us regretted because we didn't have free speech and free flow of information that allowed us to have discernment here. And if we had discernment, if we had an equal debate on all these issues that we could actually honestly, legitimately talk about, then we wouldn't have so much harm happening to the American people, as of course they would understand that, hey, knowledge is power, and there are a lot of concerted efforts to try to deny that power to the American people. Now the question kind of remains, will Mark Zuckerberg kind of unleash that? As this election cycle specifically demonstrated how the battle of ideas played out in favor of free speech, in favor of opening up the Overton window, in favor of recalling all of these politically correct, bureaucratic fact cat ninnies that wanted to police speech, as this has been taken to absurd levels in the United Kingdom, where people are literally being thrown in jail for expressing political thoughts and expressions. That's not what, of course, we want here in this country. That's a future that CNN wants for you, but not a future that this country wants for itself. As The Independent also writes, from liberal darling to phone calls with Trump, Mark Zuckerberg's political transformation, as Zuckerberg has slowly and surely been working on this larger transformation as he started to get a little bit more tanner. He started to poof out his hair. He started to wear that little goatee. He started to wear that little V-neck. He started to, of course, surf with the American flag on and actually do some MMA, do some jiu-jitsu, start showing up at major UFC events. As a lot of people are saying, this could be a cold, calculated move for him to just, of course, move along with the popular trends of our society. As we cannot forget that Mark Zuckerberg overwhelmingly played a major role in the 2020 presidential elections by dumping hundreds of millions of dollars specifically on the voter turnout effort, which overwhelmingly turned out Democratic voters in heavy Democratic districts. As these Zuckerbucks were an issue of contention to the point where even some states have banned them from being implemented. States like Florida, states that overwhelmingly won a huge kind of Republican majority that didn't take Zuckerbucks. Interesting how that happened. As there's even major moves within Congress right now to ban Zuckerbucks and the injection of hundreds of millions of dollars specifically to help one specific group of people vote. As a lot of people are now saying, do not believe, do not trust Mark Zuckerberg here, as this is a man that has already laid siege on freedom and has done enough. As of course he is only doing what is convenient to him now and will be doing his best to try to save face here, specifically when it comes to not facing any kind of liability for his larger egregious actions against free humanity. As of course Elon Musk essentially was the canary in the coal mine that survived. He took all the risk. He's taken on all the legal battles, and he was the one that actually, for a bit, allowed free speech on his particular platform. Free speech that is in question. Now, sure, we'll get into that in a little bit, but as Tim Pool puts it, quote, Elon bought X to help flip the narrative machine, and the deep state sent the SEC and the FTC after him, and he even had a judge block his pay. Zuckerberg clearly bent the knee when ordered. Only when it was safe does he turn it around. Quote, I'm glad he is, but no freebies. And I agree with that sentiment. As a lot of people are saying, this is an absolute panic move made by Zuckerberg here. Late in the game, right in the fourth quarter, right before the major transition, right before Donald Trump takes political office. As of course, if he really wants to make a difference here, he would provide restitution to all the individuals, to all the businesses, to all the organizations, including many of which I had that were absolutely obliterated by their vague content moderation that absolutely destroyed my ability to conduct my business. As of course, other people like Ben Shapiro are excited about this. As he said, quote, this is a sea change in the direction at Facebook. Zuckerberg spelled out his vision of free speech at Georgetown in 2019 to the consternation and shock of the left. Facebook then proceeded to cave, engaging in mass censorship. The tide has turned. Good for Zuckerberg. And again, personally, I'm not buying it until I actually see. You could pander, you could say, you could connect yourself to all these other individuals until you actually prove it. Until you actually allow free speech, until you allow some of the most radical, insane, craziest, racist, sexist, bigoted voices on your platform, I'm not going to believe it. And I don't agree with those voices, but guess what? Those voices are a litmus test to see if you actually believe in it. Until I actually see you drop the hard N-bomb, Mark Zuckerberg, until I actually see you provide restitution for all of the people that you destroyed, until I see you actually say the 7 bad words from George Carlin, until I see you actually make a difference, then and only then will I be like, okay, yeah, cool. But damage was done already, dude. You still screwed me over for 20 plus frickin' years. And that right there should not be forgotten today. And if you agree with that, share this video with your friends and family members. It's more imperative than ever. As of course, we still have a major uphill battle, especially when it comes to free speech, especially when it comes to talking about the real most important issues. Things like population rates, things like immigration, things like grooming gangs. As we have learned now that not all platforms, not all individuals are always 100% right all the times. As of course, even Elon Musk has announced tweakings and changes to his algorithm to make them more positive. Again, I have very strong sentiments about that, and I will be talking about that in the future. Before I do, don't forget to fully express yourself on thebestpoliticalshirts.com, where you could get shirts like this that reads, if you trust the government, you don't know history, as well as other really amazing shirts like this Kamala Harris 2028 t-shirt. And we got a lot of other ones that sadly we cannot show you here on this particular broadcast. Lots of shirts that are very like, whoa, oh, he's wearing that. You could be that person that gets all the attention. Perfect thing to wear at the clubs, at the discotecas, at the parties, you name it. You got some of the most eye-opening, craziest shirts that we can't even show you here on YouTube, because if we did, this video would get either significantly demonetized, downranked in the algorithm, and of course, probably even deleted. YouTube deletes a lot of our old videos without even telling us sometimes, as this free speech issue has been at the forefront of my career for a very long time now, and dealing with it from every step of the freaking way. When we were originally kind of demonetized, when we were hit, we created a t-shirt company in order to, of course, make up for all the lost revenue that, of course, we weren't getting anymore. Right now, we're dealing with a very significant issue, specifically when it comes to, financial issues, savelukenow.com. So if you haven't gotten a t-shirt yet, now's the time to do it, all on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. We've got a lot of really fun, awesome stuff that, again, some we cannot show you. It's just too spicy. Go check it out right now. Click the link down in the description below. Click thebestpoliticalshirts.com. It's the first link. When you do, be prepared to laugh. You have a crazy uncle? This is the store for him. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you guys actually getting some of the shirts, getting out there and doing your lazy forms of activism, where you're actually able to, of course, open up the Overton window, start conversations, find like-minded people, probably find your life partner just by simply wearing a t-shirt. You're an introvert. Perfect way to, of course, slowly and surely get out of your bubble. As, of course, building community, building friends, more important than ever. You could start doing that right now on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. Trust me, you walk down the street with some of these shirts and you will be stopped non-stop. Guaranteed. Thebestpoliticalshirts.com. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on youtube.com/wearechange.